Hey guys, I'm Naomi Kyle here with Brian Albert.
Hey everyone.
And we're checking out DayZ, and for those of you who are just starting this game, like, you haven't even looked at it. You're just, like, finally spawning in your first server, and we are going to go talk about the controls.
Yeah.
Some of the basic controls.
Yeah, this game has sold very well, even though it's only in early access. It's getting actually pretty close to 1 million copies.
Yeah, last I checked, it was like 875,000.
Right, so if you're a new player and you're in, this game's really hard and you want to know, what am I doing? Because the game doesn't do a good job of explaining itself yet.
Yeah, the controls are complicated. They're hidden. You kind of need to just learn as you go, but we're going to tell you all the main ones so that you can just start there and go survive.
Yep. So here are the basics. So first of all, depending on what you like, it can be first or third person. This is done just by hitting enter. I think you'll start the game in first, but third is a little better for the awareness you can see on the sides of you.
Yeah, if any zombies come at you.
Yep.
Or
So that's pretty simple, but it's very useful.
Yeah.
Your default speed is fine. You can double tap go, which is probably W for you. I wouldn't change it. And you'll sprint. That does make you thirsty. It makes you louder. Zombies will see you though.
Yes.
You know, so you don't want that.
As much as possible, you want to run at a normal jog or just walk around.
Right. Once we're in a town, which you'll spawn pretty close to one for the most part. I don't think you ever spawn completely out in the wilderness.
No, there'll always be a building or even a lighthouse, something nearby that you can then go in and see if there's anything for you to grab and put as part of your inventory. Speaking of inventory, you're going to have to get to know some of the controls in your inventory because it is super useful. Starting with the flashlight. You'll have to grab the alkaline battery and then put it into your flashlight. This will be very useful for, especially if you spawn in a server that's starting at night.
Right, and that happens often. Servers,
it does.
A lot of servers are hosted actually over in Russia.
Yes.
And you can have the servers kind of go by like what the real time is outside where you live. And so if you're in America and you're playing during the day, a lot of the servers will be at night.
We were lucky enough to find one.
Right, it took us many times. But you do spawn with a flashlight and a battery. As you saw, we had to put it in there and attach it. Then you drag it. Hold on here. Sorry. You drag the flashlight down into one of your hands.
Yes.
And then it has a little tiny one up in there in the corner. So you hit it to equip it. Here, let's go first person so you can see this.
Yeah.
And then you hit space bar to bring up what you have equipped down on the bottom there. Not super intuitive.
No.
And then F is your turn on, turn off key. That's your activate open door key, just in general.
All right.
So that's going to be very useful, especially if you're at nighttime. And it gets dark in a server anyway, so there's that day-night cycle.
Yes. Good to know how to use this flashlight. And then there are the controls for when you're just standing there. So you were sitting before, but you should also know that there is a sort of hand signal slash, just in case people meet you in the game or that you don't know, to say that you're a friendly player. Just go side to side.
Right.
And this is pretty easy and pretty basic knowledge to know because a lot of DayZ players go by this rule.
Now, a lot of DayZ players will just kill you if they can.
Well, that's true.
But if they don't,
but if they're nice,
this means
you can
this
show
is
that you're
Q
friendly.
and E back and forth. Hey,
Yes.
I'm not going to kill you.
I'm not going to kill you right now.
Also up on the F keys, like F1, F2, F3, you can do, hey, I'm
Yeah.
here. You know, I'm not going to kill you. You can also be mean and trick people with that. But
Yeah.
we don't condone that here.
No. But yeah, there was some other things too that we wanted to talk about. So we have the crouching. We wanted to show that if you're in a situation where you have to go up to some building slowly, you want to make sure that you know how to do that. So
maybe like what we're doing
you can
now.
Crouch down. You can then also go lie flat on your stomach.
Yep. Like for this, we have a lower profile. We're making less noise. If this was a bigger city, there's a more of a chance we'd run into other players. We're kind of on the outskirts, so we're pretty safe. But if you really want to be careful, you hit Z, and then you're going prone here. And this is, of course, lowest profile.
Yeah.
You're very quiet.
You can crawl forward. You can roll.
It looks awesome. And it's pretty fun
to
roll down a hill.
There's also the anything that's listed on the bottom left corner of your screen. This is going to prompt you. It's going to tell you if you're thirsty, if you're hungry. Never ignore these.
Right. If you played the DayZ mod, there were little icons on the right that were like, oh, my hunger is red. Now it's on the bottom. It'll say, I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, and you can't ignore those.
No.
You need to go, and so we're in this little town. We're going to go searching for some water and for some food.
Water and food are the first things you want to go looking for. I know it sounds like, you know, everyone thinks, oh, I want a weapon. I want a gun to defend myself.
I want the axe or whatever.
But trust me, you need food and water before anything else.
Right. Once you have a good stash of food and water, you can go find melee weapons. You can find bullets and bigger rifles.
Yeah.
And you need to be prepared to keep your body maintained.
Exactly. And another thing, this is going back to the inventory. You start off with only 4 spots available for your inventory. So what you can do, and this is only if you get lucky and you find this item, but you need a backpack. And the backpack will allow you to have 25 more slots for other items to collect that you can then carry with you wherever you go.
Right. You definitely want that space. See, we found
right
an
now
apple. We only have 2 slots. That's not enough.
And we're lucky that we found a apple that is fresh, because there are rotten fruits that you can find, and please do not eat those because that'll instantly kill you.
Yeah, they'll make you sick. So you can see the apple is at 100%. Right here by your character, I'm thirsty. Green means not very thirsty. It gets down to red, and it's like, hey, I'm dehydrating. Yeah. We're not hungry right now. If we were, you just right-click on the apple.
Yes. And it's marked 100% because you can actually do portions.
Listen to those eating sounds.
It's
pretty gross. And what does that percent say?
So now it's 75% is what it okay. So maybe with apples, I knew that with tuna you could do that, where if you have a can of tuna, which is another piece of food that you can find, or an item of food that you can find in the game, it'll go down to 75%, then 50%, because it'll be portioned in 4 amounts. So that way you can actually keep a can of tuna with you, and then it could save you 4 times if ever you find yourself hungry.
Right. Apparently the apple, though, is just
just an instant.
Just one snack.
I'm going to eat this now.
Yep.
And
so we should be good.
Saving food for
now,
later.
So food is pretty difficult to find. Water, less so. Most towns, big and small, will have a well.
Yeah, almost always.
Yep. And the game calls it a pond. It is not a pond. It is a well.
Yeah.
You come up to it, and you can just spam your use button, which is F, and it's, hey, you drink some water from the pond.
Yeah. And it'll make you full after a while. You'll have to click it quite a few times, though, for that to happen.
Right. And you'll see right there, the thirst is gone.
There you go.
Yep. So we're good to go on that front. The most important thing, though, is to find canned food. And we might not be lucky enough to find this, but if you find some canned spaghetti or canned beans, you can't open those unless you have a can opener.
Right. Oh, and we have a zombie coming.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is actually going to be perfect. Here, she's going to attack me.
Here we go.
Yep.
Zombie.
Okay, so I can feel blood dripping off my body. We don't want that.
You should go in third person and show just
what
the blood looks like.
It looks really bad, but it's pretty funny.
Yeah, so you can see there's blood splattering all over the place. It's not pretty.
So this will happen when you're exploring. You'll find zombies. They'll attack you, and you're very fragile. You'll die very quickly without a weapon.
Yeah.
So what the best thing to do is you're running. You're like, oh, how do I stop this bleeding? Well, you could find a med kit.
But those are really few and far between.
They are. So instead, what we're going to do here is, okay, if she stopped following me.
I think she's
over
just
there.
waiting there,
She's
so you're good.
Taunting me. Okay. We have a shirt.
Yeah.
A gray T-shirt. Perfect, right? And then you drag it down off of you. This is like what you're wearing. So you drag it down into here, and you click tear into rags. Now we have 2 rags.
And this is useful for then
hold on.
saving you from injury, although this zombie's still following us.
This is ridiculous. They will chase you very, very far. Like you'll be like, oh, there's no way she sees me.
Unless you obscure their vision somehow, they pretty much just follow you the whole way through.
Yep. So we're just going to go hide behind this building and use the rag really quick here.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, another thing they don't tell you. If you hit V, you'll vault over like that.
Yep. Jump is V.
Yep. There are plenty
Not
of...
spacebar or anything else.
No. That would be... too ideal, too standard.
Too standard for DayZ, I think.
All right, we'll right-click on it, use, and then your character... Don't move while your character's doing this. She's going to heal herself up. There we go. All right, so those are the basics. It's, what do you have in your inventory? You have your flashlight and your shirt. That's all you have to start.
Yeah, you start off with basically nothing.
Yep. Find food first. Water, also important, but less so because it's plentiful for sure in certain areas.
Yes.
Avoid zombies because they will destroy you, like you saw there.
Zombies are pretty scary and can catch you off guard, even though most towns sometimes are just void of zombies. If you notice a zombie, it'll sometimes be just out of the blue, and you'll be pretty much screwed at that point.
Yeah, it really sucks.
It does suck.
But that's it for now. We're going to have more videos on more advanced things like, hey, well, here's how you raid a military base and get better guns and whatnot. But for now, you're brand new. This is how you don't die immediately.
Again, and this is, again, the alpha version. So there will be changes down the road, but we're going to keep you guys updated.
All right. Thanks so much.
Stay tuned to IGN for more. Bye, guys.